What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones. Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
And all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
And here we go.
Get ready, get set for the best movie and pop culture talk in the universe. It's The Good Brothers on Mercado Airwaves with your hosts, Alex Mercado and Mike Mercado.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Alex. That's Mike. We're The Good Brothers. And Mike, we have to start off sadly. Like, we have to do a couple episodes. Why don't you fill the people in?
That's right. On Monday Night Raw, Roman Reigns, Joe Anoa'i, came out and said that his leukemia came back. For all you who aren't necessarily in the know of wrestling or just know it when WrestleMania season comes around, obviously Roman Reigns, part of the Shield, the current Universal Champion on Monday Night Raw. It's interesting because covering sports, you always kind of see these stories come around where athletes, there's just so many athletes, there's just so many sports, so many people that we see nowadays on social media that it's bound that you see people have to go through these diseases. But you brought up an interesting point before we turn on the mics that it's very rare, though, when it's the guy, when it's the main superstar.
Exactly.
And that's what happens.
It's almost like if you would say a Conor McGregor or a Floyd Mayweather of their sport, even like LeBron James, like someone that really represents the mainstay of the face right now. Like obviously we have John Cena, The Rock, but they're more actors at the moment. So this guy's really carrying the forward end. When it's your main guy, I think you said it also off air, it's kind of like weird feeling for normal, I guess I want to say normal people who aren't these celebrities and big stars. You're like, if that could happen to our heroes, our gladiators of sorts.
People that are bigger than life.
Like, they're bigger. Like, these are large characters. And if that could happen just so suddenly, and I got to give props to WWE. They handled it well. Yeah. Because, they didn't announce anything.
They always kind of do, though. Like, it's so funny.
They don't drop the ball on this stuff.
With the crown jewel stuff and everything that always kind of comes around them, because the WWE is no stranger to controversy. But the one thing they do very well is they treat their own, especially the ones they like, very well, and they roll out the red carpet. We saw with Edge. We see when people lose their careers and they have to retire early. But what's different about this one is, and this is what's been really weird for I think fans, is the shtick was always to boo Roman because he was the guy, the chosen one.
But there was no actual reason
to hate him.
We need to.
And when this kind of happened, I think it hit people at first because it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I can make fun of him. We can make fun of him. But we can't because he's our guy. That's our guy.
Hey, I boo him because it's my right to boo him.
But when you see that, it's like, it's horrible when you hear Edge has to retire because of his neck. But it's another thing when you hear, I'm not retiring, I'm not leaving, I'm going to go fight for my life. And, we're all going to look positively. We're all going to send the good vibes. But I think this is a good place to just an open forum of, cancer in general. When you see it hit people that are in this stature, and you realize, like, even of our own lives, like one of our aunts, her sister is going through it right now, and it sucks, man. It's something that hurts anybody. It's not. It's one of the rare things in this planet that's not racist. It doesn't care.
Exactly.
It just doesn't care.
Cancer's
yeah.
It's so
Man, woman.
It's just exactly. It can happen to man, child when you're born. You can develop it. You can get it by life decisions. Like
be the most fittest person in the world.
And at this point, it's uncurable. It's treatable, but like there's still so much we don't know about it, and it's killing us in such fast and randomness that it's so. Like you said, it's different when it's a neck injury, like the situation in Pittsburgh last year. He's walking now. When it's cancer, though, you're like damn, that's literally a flip of a coin, honestly. Like
and
sometimes.
you see it's broke all over pop culture. It was all over the mainstream media, even locally here for all you sports fans. Anthony Rizzo retweeted it and mentioned it on his thing. Anthony Rizzo, who also survived cancer along with John Lester. And think about that's the thing is this thing. And what terrifies me the most, and I text you this, is as you get older, it's the more you realize that he's a young man. Like he's 30-something years old. He's a father.
That's what's even worse. It's like this guy's and again, I go back to the they did such a good job saying this is real. Like we're gonna turn off the story for 30 minutes and we're gonna be real here that this is real life. Like we're gonna show backstage Braun Strowman, when you have to work with someone, you bond with someone. Yeah. And for them to be we know they were killing each other last week. This is bigger than our storyline right now. In 30 minutes, we'll go back to the story. But for 30 minutes, we're not. I don't care who's face or heel. This is real life. We need to support him. Okay, now we're good. Let's go back to work. 'Cause that's what he wants. But for 30 minutes, we're turning it off. This is real life. Eddie Guerrero almost.
And exactly. And one of the great things that you see is when things like this happen in the wrestling community and the person is genuinely liked, everybody comes together, and you're seeing that right now, and some great reactions and conversations being had by wrestlers in the company, out of the company, NXT. So you can search it out. I highly suggest going through social media. It's one of the rare things that you can see.
One of my favorites was Tama Tonga. He's
he's
a Samoan from Japan, and that's
part of the OG company. Bullet Club.
So just so everyone gets to he's like a rival of a rival. So he's a rival company, and he's basically the you of that company. And they've been going back in on Twitter, and wrestlers are really using Twitter to their advantage of these storylines. And I love his thing. He's like, hey, storylines aside, this is a good guy. Yeah. It's a good brother. I got your back. And it's that's how important it was. Guys that never break kayfabe, guys that are my character is everything. We're no, this is more important right now. Just, I need to say something because this goes beyond anything we're doing.
And I mentioned this on the past episode of Sports from the Couch. If you guys have any organization or any local charity or fundraiser that has to deal with cancer research, we would love to hear about it here on Mercado Airwaves, whether it's on Murder Mysteries and More, whether it's here on the Good Brothers Sports from the Couch, Outreach Radio Chicago at the actual radio station, all the other stuff that we're doing here on the network. Please reach out to us. It's And then, I'll even throw it out here, even if it's beyond cancer research, diabetes is something that really hurts our family. So if you're with the JDRF or anything like that, please reach out to us. Obviously, we're all ears on that. But this is one of the things that I get inspired when I see this, because to me we have a platform, we get to talk about it, and it's not just doom and gloom. It's to say you and I have had friends and colleagues and people that we're close to lose people to it. We've seen them survive. We've kind of, it hits us all. So at the very least, I think this is another step where we're gonna move forward and we're gonna see progress, because it's almost the person. It seems like the person that's gonna be strong enough, has the community behind them, and I'm hoping 50, 100, just at some point, this will never be a thing again.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think it's obviously maybe not in our lifetime, but remember chickenpox used to kill people, and strep throat used to be a death warrant.
Polio.
Things happen. Hopefully you follow a pattern and think hey, one day our great-great-grandchildren will be yeah, remember when cancer was untreatable?
Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping, and at the very least, from us, and obviously I think anybody, sending our best wishes to him. And for anybody that has seen the story that they're going through something, or they know somebody that is, we're sending our love, our thoughts, and anything that we can do, please just reach out for us. But moving on, I think one of the great things that you saw from Roman was he's such a professional. He is the definition of a pro, and even he would be the first to say that the show goes on. So we're really not going to break down Monday Night Raw so much. You know, it's a long show, and honestly, it was one of those shows. It doesn't really matter what happened that night because it was about Roman. The only thing that did have a consequence that will forever be linked to this night, the night that Roman left for treatment and to go fight cancer, was the storyline continues, and what maybe would have taken another 4 weeks, 5 weeks, could have been another 5 days, 5 hours, whatever the case may be. Dean Ambrose turns on Seth Rollins after they win the tag team championships and breaking up the Shield, and they're continuing the storyline of like, you were laughing at me, but obviously it means more now because it's always gonna have that memory of Roman is on top of it. How did you feel about it first, and what do you think about it moving forward?
I feel it's one of those things where you're like, man, that's kind of Roman's last gift to them. Like as he's leaving, is like he gave him a reboot.
Yeah, he really
gave
did.
him because now you're like, okay, now the Shield's not a thing. Braun's a face again.
He's fighting Drew.
McIntyre is probably going to be set up to be a champion within the next few months.
That's the next guy, by the way. Yeah.
Dean Ambrose is this, and the tag titles are off, and now you can really start spreading it. You're like, huh? You're like, his last gift going out is like me relinquishing this means we can go forward. Like we don't have to kill time. And with the timing of Crown Jewel probably most likely being moved or canceled, so it's going to become a whole different animal. It was like it's kind of one of those feelings. You're like, good, like Roman, like as he's leaving, he's like, this is my gift to you. Like, we can reboot. Like, without me here, these two doing this, it changed the dynamic. So, it was one of those Monday Night Raws where you're like, I'm going to remember that Monday Night Raw. Not only because it was kind of a good Monday Night Raw, honestly. Like, you had a good Finn Balor, Bobby Lashley. Like, you had to watch because the feeling was crazy that whole night of, like, you're like, how are these people reacting to this? Like, that must suck. Like,
that arena was...
It's a weird feeling. You're like, the air is just, like Daniel Bryan said, the air is just sucked out of the room so fast. And you're like, we still got 2 hours and 30 minutes of show. And I think they did a great job for that. Like, there's not much more you can do. And they sold it and they went on. And like I said, after 30 minutes, like, okay, we're moving forward, y'all. We got to go.
So that's just our general thoughts of this. And we'll obviously keep close tabs on anything. Anytime we hear anything, we'll kind of give up our updates throughout it. We'll obviously be tweeting it and sharing it on Instagram and on Facebook. But shout out to our guy, Roman, one of our favorites. Even when we were supposed to boo him, cheer him, whatever the case may be, always delivered and always been a straight-up professional. So, you hope that nobody ever has to go through this, and you get through that.
And we're going to do our job and be entertainment.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
Another day at the operator to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones. Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
And all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
So while we'll try our best. We don't always
Like
deliver
the air
our
is sucked out of the room again every time we talk about it, but the show goes on. We gotta go.
And we're you know what? It's our job to give you the news, and now you're updated. You're informed, and you can go out there and make a difference, and you can have some fun now because we're gonna talk about a lot of cool stuff. But before we do that, we're everywhere in the universe. Alex is on Twitter at Mercado21 Alex. I'm at mmercado2333. You can even follow Nicole at typingwhentipsy. We're all on Instagram. at Mercado2121 is where you can find Alex. I'm at Mike Mercado2333. Nicole's at Typing When Tipsy. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/Mercado Airwaves Network. Download us anywhere you get your favorite podcast at Mercado Airwaves. And while you do it, please like, rate, review, and share it. It means the world to us. It really helps us out. And if you would like to get our interviews ad-free or before anybody else with athletes or celebrities, please visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. We have a tier just for you. And a huge thank you to Munch Art Design for powering us here at Mercado Airwaves. Good, brother. We had a bunch of stuff to do. What do you got on docket for us here on this episode today?
Well, we're not going to bear the lead here. We saw a certain movie.
Oh, there we go.
With a certain Shaggy, baby. Oh, I was thinking Austin Powers, Michael Myers.
Oh, my bad. Oh, yes.
So I make you Randy, baby.
No, yes. As you said, we did see. It's in season. We went to see the new Halloween. Michael Myers is back, but not the Michael Myers that is shagging people. This one is shanking people. Alex, you and I differ from this. We walked out of that theater. So what we're going to do right here, right now, in the next 2 minutes, non-spoiler first. In a non-spoiler, what did you think of the movie? And give me a grade really fast.
Oh, that's the Alex take coming up. I didn't like it.
All right, give me a score.
I'm gonna keep it nice and easy. I did not enjoy it, and the more I think about it, I enjoy it less. And a score
out of 10,
7.
Okay,
7. I mean, it's still a well shot movie.
So
but I just didn't like it.
Okay, and for me, I enjoyed it very much. I think it's a very. I'm not even going to say fun movie. It's a good movie. It's a suspenseful movie. It's a slow movie. It's very much a duplicate of the original movie. It's paint by numbers. So to me, this is what's funny. How perspective is by the beholder. I gave it a 7.5. And I think it's a really good movie to watch this Halloween season. So that's our scores. Let's get into spoilers. So spoilers for the new Halloween movie. Go enjoy it this Halloween season. Be back. We'll give you a timestamp. Wanting to come back wherever you're listening to this video.
We'll wait.
You better wait for us.
Yeah.
And spoilers now for Halloween. So my favorite part about this whole movie, though, is essentially how it really is a lead up to the fight between Laurie and Michael. My biggest issue, and I can understand, I'll be straight up front before I give any props to the movie. My biggest problem is there's a lot of wasted time and characters in this movie, and my biggest problem, the minute we walked out of the theater, was the example of the boyfriend. If everything was leading to Laurie versus Michael, that's fine. The problem is, you still could have put a little bit more effort in getting us there.
What's funny, though, is I've been listening to some interviews and stuff. That was done on purpose, actually, because his father is very important to the original.
There you go.
So I'm over that one.
Okay.
But I think, like, for the audience, we're gonna give you a general, like, it's a horror movie, so basically 40 years past, it's Halloween from Halloween 1. Everything else is retcon.
So everything's retcon. So they're not.
So
and they
Halloween
mention
1,
it, but
and this is technically a sequel, even though it's called Halloween. 40 years later, he's basically in a psych ward. Long story short, it's the 40th anniversary. He decides to go on a killing spree, quote unquote.
Well, let's get how we get there, because how we get there is really interesting. So it's two podcasters who are kind of doing their own version of Serial.
Podcast.
And it's pretty funny, though, because that is kind of how we would get that story in today's day and age. Because if it wasn't, let's say, the way they were telling the story is all the other Halloween movies did not happen. This story would not be as big because he quote unquote, like you even mentioned in the movie, he only killed 5 people. He only killed X amount of people.
And what Mike's pointing out is that when basically doing the podcast, and the reason they chose to do podcasts is because they didn't want to age the equipment. They wanted to do documentary style, the directors, and they decided, in 20 years the cameras are going to look weird. Podcast recorders have kind of looked the same forever. Like there's only so much you do in a microphone, and it's very hip right now. What's funny is, so there's a scene, and these teenagers are talking about Michael Myers. And they're saying, he's like, well, no offense, he killed, 5 people, 40 years ago. And I'm like, I look at Mike, I'm like, that is so true. Could you imagine that? He only killed 5 people. Literally Vegas, Orlando. You're like, that's not 5 people?
Right. We see that.
That's death is death, but you're like, okay, that's not really a serial killer nowadays. That's kind of Tuesday.
But what I will say that this movie does do itself is it answers its questions right away. It tells you, look it, because they're not considered legends. But what this movie does really good is like, this is our story. This is right after Halloween, and nothing happened before because they mentioned they're not siblings, so that's just a rumor.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird. I guess my biggest complaint about the movie is there's a lot of weird points to get you to the main act of this movie. But what I will say this movie was all on how brutal they make Michael, how strong do they make Laurie, and how intense is that final battle scene. And they knocked the ball out of the park in all three. Anything in between, whether it's is what makes it a 7.5. But those three things that it had to hit, it does to me. And I think that's what makes it a fun movie to be in the movie theater, to embrace in the soundtrack. Because the music in there, the musical keys are phenomenal. Like you said, the way it's shot is phenomenal. The bathroom kill scene is phenomenal. There's a lot of really good in this movie. That house, even though it was built just for this scene, for this movie, for this fight scene, it's a fun atmosphere to be in.
I didn't have much fun. So we basically went over all the story plots. Like, if you're listening, you've watched the movie, so we're not going to go into it. Like, you have these three women, these three different generations, and, Jamie Lee Curtis definitely sells the movie. She's the highlight. She's the shining beacon. She's great. I love her twisted character.
Did you not like Michael?
I like her daughters. What?
Do you not like Michael in this movie? Because I think Michael shines in this movie,
I don't think so. To me, here's my hot take. And Mike's Mr. Positive Patty over there. I'm going to be a petty petunia over here.
Okay.
And here's my issues. First 15 minutes are some of the best 15 minutes of a horror movie. The way they get you to the intro is fantastic. And I was like, let's go.
Yes.
And then it goes downhill so fast. The granddaughter's boring.
Yes.
I don't think Danny DeBrey knows how to write for modern young kids anymore. Okay. I think he's just... His humor's more for our generation, and when I'm seeing him at 17, I don't believe it. The parents are terrible, like the dad and the mom. They're just terrible people, and I can imagine anyone treating their mother this bad. And when she did get attacked, like, everyone acknowledged she did get attacked by Michael Myers, so I don't know why we're
Like,
the fact that they're like, she's crazy. I'm like, no, we've acknowleded she got chased by a serial killer in a mask.
Can I ask you a question, which is funny because the daughter... in Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter in this movie, I think the end scene where she's fake crying and she lures Michael in is phenomenal because she really sells that scene. But I don't think it's earned because at no point do they make it seem like Jamie Lee Curtis was a bad mom. Like, I never felt like she was a bad mom. So why did she be treated like that
scene because it's almost like Terminator 2 where it's like, mom's still a mom. Like,
but I think
like Sarah Connor is a bad mom. Jamie Lee Curtis probably was a bad mom. But you love your mother because she's your mother.
But okay, let me ask you this: I thought Sarah Connor was a bad mother coming out of Terminator. I can feel it,
but she is.
Do you think Jamie Lee Curtis in this universe is a bad mother?
I mean, like she raised her daughter in a booby-trapped cabin, like
interesting.
And like she didn't have much.
I didn't get that.
Like, can you imagine being an 8-year-old having to learn to shoot guns? That must be terrifying.
Sure,
like,
okay.
And maybe our definition of bad is like I'm not saying she abused her daughter, but obviously it's a different upbringing than a normal child going to preschool.
I will say one thing though that Halloween does. Whether it was the original Carpenter one or in this one right now, is just like we did in our first episode, which happy anniversary, Alex. We're getting into our anniversary eventually.
Try to touch me and stuff, huh?
I don't think
What'd you get me?
I did not get you anything. I don't know what the anniversary is for a year in podcast.
That's the gold anniversary, I believe.
So I will say the one thing it does great is it's makes you talk about it. It makes you break it down. It makes you philosophically does like the fact that we're talking about whether Laurie is bad, whether Michael is evil, like whether let me get into this too. My biggest complaint in this movie, I take it back. My biggest complaint in this movie is the doctor. That doctor in this movie,
Jr. or whatever.
Yeah, and they make and what's funny is because at first I think you could have earned it. I think you plant the seeds in the very beginning. But you do not build on it. It just goes from A to Z in a moment of he's like curious of Michael to I'm going to kill the sheriff to put on his mask now and put him in the back seat just to see the confrontation between him and Laurie.
No, it makes no sense.
It was weird.
Here, let's do this because we can go on all day. We're gonna do 2 rounds. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna take like 1 or 2 minutes. I'm gonna say what I didn't like. Okay. And I'm gonna give you your 2 minutes, and you can rebut or you can say what you don't like.
Cool.
Then I'll get one more rebuttal. You get one more, and we're gonna be done with it. Because honestly, this movie does bring up. Here's my 2 minutes.
Go.
I think this movie brings up more questions than it answers. I think the doctor makes no sense. I think my problem with Michael is everyone's like he's the shadow. He's this. He's walking in the middle of the street. He killed one kid in the beginning. He ignores 7 other kids, a car of people, a baby, just to kill one woman for a cool shot. He makes no sense. I think, like, I get Rob Zombie did a little too much background, but I'm like, guys, there has to be story for him. Like, or else he's got to kill everyone. I don't accept that he skipped killing 7 children, but we don't want to tell a story. So you can't have both. I think, besides Jamie Lee Curtis, not one character in the movie works. I thought the teenagers were bad writing. I thought the jokes were just like the horny stepdad. I'm like, yeah, Danny McBride, I get it. I get it. Like, dicks are cool. Dicks are funny. I think it has a great 15 minutes to start. I think it has a fantastic 15 minutes to end. The scene where Laurie disappears and Michael Myers appears is pop, huge pop for me. And I think the crowd was not into this movie. You agreed with me.
Yeah,
the crowd's not into it because I think it's too long.
That crowd was not into it.
There was a lot of dead time.
Yeah,
I get why it has a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's very average. And I think, here's my last point, like, I think my problem was, and you agreed with me, we went in this movie and people were like, Tiff, and it's up there with A Star is Born, and Beale Street, and July 22, like, it's an Oscar movie. It's that good. And I'm like, no, it's not better than it. It wasn't better than Get Out. It wasn't better than Lights Out.
Don't Breathe.
It wasn't better than Don't Breathe. I'm like, in the last 3 years, we've got some great horror. This is like right in the average. It's better than The Purge.
And like the Blair Witch and all things like that. Yeah,
like it's better than those, but like it's the movie's average, and I wanted it to be fantastic, like the first one.
I think the movie will be revisited many times. I think it's a very successful sequel to a movie that's had some good attempts, some not so good attempts, and some downright horrible attempts. I think it knows exactly what it wants to be. I don't think it has an identity crisis. I think it is a little plotting at points, but so is the first Halloween. And that's something that we never want to take into account about movies. It's like you have to earn certain things. I think if you're looking for a good slasher film, you get it. But it's not a gore porn fest if that's what you were looking. If you were looking for Rob Zombie's version,
I felt like it did a lot of those kills just for shock, like the knife in the throat, hanging the person up. Like I get they don't do it gory because Rob Zombie has like no taste sometimes and it's a little too much. But I don't think this movie's very clever in a lot of the killings.
I don't think it's clever. He
kills maybe 11 people, and I think out of those 11, there's 5 really, really good ones. It does the head banging gets a little repetitive.
Sure.
Because I like the first 2, like again, the reporters. I'm like, damn, good 15 minutes. And then he does it like 3 more times. I'm like, okay, I get it. You're like kind of strong, I think. So if you keep knocking their head, it's gonna work. Like I think it does suffer from identity crisis because I don't think they really get. You can't have it both ways. Is he a complex character or is he the walking boogeyman? And I feel like the movie tries to make it like there's something to him. But like he skipped killing these. They're trying to put logic in there, and I'm like, you can't do that because you didn't like when they did it last time. Because you didn't like the logic they gave you.
All right, so I have 2 questions for you. One, the first one is: do you think the more questions than answers is because it was done on purpose or because of future plans?
I think it's just not clever writing.
So then, moving forward on that, it obviously crushes at the box office. Do we get a sequel? Obviously, because of the ending, we don't see him die.
We get a sequel because we didn't like the number 1 rule of TV and movies. You don't see the body, it's not dead.
It's not dead.
I'm going to ask you this, and I think because it was brought up on many shows. 77 million, nothing to snooze at. Some people are saying it should have made more. Do you think so, or do you think that it's...
No.
Because people really thought it was going to break records.
No, I thought if it made over 60 million, it would hit. I thought it was going to get tracked closer to like 85.
But that's what I'm saying. Why do you think Venom made more money? Even if it's just a few million. Wait, is it just superhero genre?
Superhero genre, Tom Hardy, and it's a more fun movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's
PG-13.
Yeah, it's just... But I think the better movie is Halloween.
And we're going to... The ours together, like, only thing we really agree on is, like, it is a well-directed and shot movie.
It's a good movie,
The writing
yes.
we can't agree on, maybe the acting, but the movie flows fine.
Yeah.
The shots are beautiful. The music is gorgeous. That's why I couldn't give it lower than a 7. I'm like, I didn't like this movie, but it's a good movie.
It's a pro movie.
It's a
professional movie.
I think what killed us was that we were so hyped for like a year.
Yeah.
And when we started hearing word that this movie's almost perfect, I think we set ourselves up. And I'm like, to be fair, not a lot could have lived up to that.
And I will say, I didn't come out disappointed. I came out it met my expectations. I was hoping it would exceed my expectations.
It's almost like I was disappointed about my extra expectation.
Sure.
Sort of. Like, it's weird.
Sure.
It's like I wasn't disappointed, but I was disappointed for that little extra I wanted to have.
No doubt.
But I knew it was a risk of not having it. But
so yeah, I mean,
I'd watch it. I don't necessarily. If you're a person that doesn't go to movies often, I'd wait. I think there's a lot better movies coming out.
But I think that's a fun movie if you're going to go somewhere this Halloween. I think it's actually a fun Halloween
I'd
movie.
say stay home and watch the classics. Throw a couple on the TV. Watch Trick or Treat. Watch Scream. Throw some Halloween. Friday the 13th 3. Go Nightmare on Elm Street 1, 3, 4, 5, and then New Nightmare. And then you'll have a good time.
Interesting.
Throw some Raw in there. Train to Busan, maybe. Dawn of the Dead, the Snyder cut, though. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got some good. That's a good list,
you
y'all.
go.
Hey, write that down, someone.
Yeah.
Write that down.
Interns. Yeah.
Hey, Nightmare Before Christmas. Christmas or Halloween movie?
Both.
No, you can't say both. Pick
Christmas.
one. Don't be an asshole.
Christmas.
Correct. Gremlins, Halloween, or Christmas?
Christmas.
Correct. Good. Okay, we're good. You're not an asshole.
All right.
Someone tried to argue me Gremlins is a Halloween movie. I'm like, guys, that's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
That's a total. It's not Black. What's funny because Black Christmas is a Halloween movie, and Gremlins is a horror.
Yeah.
It's monsters. But I'm like, no, that's a Christmas movie.
That's a Christmas movie. Just like Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Yeah. No matter what Bruce Willis says.
Yeah. All right, what else you
Fucking
got?
asshole.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
It's another day at the operator to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing,
Hey,
buddy?
sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
All right. Well, we had a lot of big stuff. Like, I didn't sleep Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Thursday because Netflix decided to give us not only Daredevil season 3, but Making a Murder season 2.
And here's the thing. We got out of the premiere of Halloween to get home to then start up Daredevil. So
Few episodes.
I'll break obviously as of this recording. I finished up episode 1. I'm in the middle of episode 2 of Making a Murder. How far are you in Making a Murder?
Finished. Because I care about my job. And Mike actually works real hours.
Yeah. So I really am enjoying it. It's slow plotting, but they're definitely catching you up to everything. I'm really enjoying it. I can't wait to deep binge in it. What did you think without spoiling anything?
We're not going to do spoilers on the TV because it's a little more you should watch it right away or like you have time to binge. I didn't love it. And I think the problem is I'm over the phase because like I think for you and me, we listened to some great true crime podcasts and we watched some great movies and like Serial, Gladiator, even World of Jinx. Like there's some really good out there with some good research. I feel like it's a one-hit wonder. Because I think you have fun with it for 5 episodes, and then when you get to 6, 7, 8, and 9, you're like, okay, same thing's gonna happen in season 1, kind of.
You already
and we're redoing most of the case, and I'm caught in the middle when I'm like, oh, that's gonna be the evidence thing. You're like, oh wait, we live in the United States, like that's not how courts work. Like it's a longer process. So it burns out slow at the end. So I kind of had to struggle through the last few episodes because I was like, I know where this is going. I can't skip it because I already got this far. I'm like. The last hour, 15 minutes of it, I'm like, oh my God. I started skipping over some of the family stuff. Yeah. Because I'm like, I can't, like, these seem like fine people or terrible people. I'm no one to judge. I just don't want to watch them. That was my opinion on that one.
But, so, I mean, that's where we're at right now. So I'll give you my review of it. So really fast, Alex, give me a quick out of 10. What do you give this season of Making a Murder?
6.5.
6.5 out of 10 for season 2 of Making a Murder for Alex here on the Good Brothers. But let's get to the thing we want to. So before we get into all spoilers, really fast, Alex, a quick synopsis of what you liked about season 3 of Daredevil, score, and then we go to spoilers. So out of 10, what do you give it?
Out of 10, I give it a 9.
And give me a little bit of what you like about it, non-spoiler.
Basically, the season just picks up right where we left off, and he's kind of. I love Charlie Cox, right?
Yeah.
I love the way he just plays it, man. He deserves an Emmy. He really does. And it's just a very back and forth of evil and good, and at what's like. We bring back Edward D'Onofrio as Wilson Fisk, and Vincent D'Onofrio. Sorry, yeah. And they're just going back and forth of taking over and this, and it's a great season about what would you do for who?
Yeah,
and and the loved ones in our life, are they there to? Can they at times they can push us, or at times they can be our kryptonite, they can be our weakness, and it's kind of like making that decision of like I'd rather have them in my life to help me than not, and if I keep them out, am I actually helping them, and at what cost? And it's just so well acted, and compared to the other shows that got canceled, we'll talk about later, man, Daredevil's so good. Like I told you, like my best way to describe it is there's 3 seasons. Think about the original 3 Star Wars. All of them are classics, all of them are fantastic films. If you ask 10 people, you're going to get all 3 as an answer, because some people will like the original of season 1. Some people are going to like the darkness of season 2. And some people are going to like the closing and the nice tight bow they can put on season 3. And I'm like, man, I love all of them. I'm like, do you like, so I'm like, what's your taste? Because they're all, I think all of them, the only, for me, it went 9.5 season 2, and then 9 again. This is almost perfect TV. Like, obviously 10s are safe for like Breaking Bad and stuff and Game of Thrones, but this is fantastic binge watching.
This is, to me, a 9.5. It is my favorite season of Daredevil.
Yep, I respect it too.
And I absolutely loved it. It's everything that you wanted in it. It went back to what we loved about it, and it took it to a level where they knew the writers, Netflix, Marvel was comfortable. Charlie, all Vincent D'Onofrio, Foggy, Karen.
I love Foggy. Foggy is the best character ever.
So that's our score, 9.5 for me, a 9 for Alex of season 3 of Daredevil.
It's my second favorite season. I'll say that. Season 2 is my favorite because we get Punisher and Daredevil. I got to give it to them.
And I really loved Bullseye in this one. So why don't we go ahead and let's get into spoilers. So spoilers for Daredevil. Enjoy it. Timestamp it, guys. We'll see you later on into this episode. But spoilers of Daredevil season 3 in 3, 2, 1. Alex,
the father dies. No,
so they kill off the father. We find out that the sister is actually his mother. That
Mary Maggie, and we knew that because we're nerds and we knew the lore.
But
like I still like seeing it.
Yeah, and I like. I let my here's the thing. Even though when I come to a lot of these superhero things, especially when it's really good, I let my if it's good and quality, I lose myself in it.
Yep, because I popped.
So I popped. I totally popped for it. I will say. So why don't we get into the nerd stuff at the end? So let's start from the end and work our way a little bit backwards. So we're like the very end credit is Bullseye is getting what either is vibranium or antimanium.
I think it's going to be that's what it is. It's whatever metal they own. I don't remember which one it is.
So we know it's going to be a metal. So do you think? Let me ask you this.
Like this. It's not because what is it? Vibranium's the shield.
Vibranium is Cap.
I think this is like the metal right below it.
Okay,
that's what they're kind of.
So they're not going to make it
like
vibranium.
It's very indestructible, but like it's not the same.
Okay,
because they had a weird word for it, and I thought that was cool. I thought Bullseye was great. And like when you've had Frank Castle, when you've had Kingpin, and he still stands out, I was like, bravo, dude. I love that they got away from the ninjas.
Yes.
Because I think that was my problem with season 2. Why it wasn't a 10 is a little too much ninja stuff. Even though that is great. Daredevil gets away with it, honestly. But I love how it was very just like the FBI corruption and how many people he really bought. And I knew that was going to happen midway. I'm like, he bought all these people.
Yes, yeah.
But again, you submerge yourself. You're like, no. Like, I know we're mid-season, but how did that plan not work? You're like, oh, no, I know we have 6 episodes left, and obviously we got to keep going, but I thought they were going to get away with it.
Biggest shock moment for me is when Agent Nadine's boss turns on the internal affairs.
I did not see that coming.
And, so why don't you know what really?
I like Nadine. That was a great side character.
And here's the thing, because my biggest complaint about Punisher was the side characters were horrible. They made dumb decisions. The girl sleeping with Jigsaw. It really upset me in this because At first, what upset me about Karen is they used her to cry a lot in this season. And then you realize, like, man, you know what? She is such a strong...
They gave you a reason to like her. They gave you the backstory. And here's another thing. Like, the original story when they first came to Cabo, Karen is like, she's a druggy porn actress, basically, like, forced into porn. And she comes back as an addict and sells Daredevil's secret. Mm-hmm. So we knew it had to be different because the way they found out he's Matt Murdock was in season 2. He just knew.
Yeah.
Kingpin just knows. And I love how they're here. They're like, well, she's not a heroin addict. She sold cocaine. She does cocaine. So it's bad, but it's not. It's somehow a little bit better than what we thought. We're like, I don't want to see her as a heroin addict. I thought that would have been a little tacky if they would have gone full out with the story. I thought they handled it great. I'm like, I like her backstory. Like, this is why she's like this. Like, she sold cocaine, and she didn't want to live in her dad's place, and she got in a wreck, and her brother was trying to help her, and she was drunk driving and killed him. And I like how they bring back how she kills, basically Smithers from season 1.
Yeah.
And Kingpin finds out, and he's pissed because that was like his prodigal son almost. And they just, man, it's a good season. Mm-hmm. Man, everyone hits. Foggy is so lovable.
How about we go through?
So perfect.
Let's go through a little bit of the cast. Just give him a quick shout out. We had obviously as Daredevil, we have Charlie Cox. We have Deborah Ann Wool as Karen Page.
Right.
Eldon Henson as Foggy.
Right.
Vincent D'Onofrio as Wilson Fisk.
Go ahead, keep going.
Go ahead. Just spoon on
who's
it
the standout? If you had to pick one person that really just if you got one, let's say you got one Emmy. And they said, here, you can give it to anyone on this show. Director, producer, music. Who are you giving it to?
Man, okay, so here's the thing, right? I think the Marvel Universe, especially in Netflix, did a great job of tackling this issue when Frank Castle had his encounter with Daredevil. But what they did with Bullseye and what... let me get his name really fast.
Well, while you're doing that, I think it's interesting in this season that they just... Because you always ask, how come they're not there helping? Where's the Defenders? Like, shouldn't they be there? And he does a great job. They address it. She's like, well, why don't you call Luke Cage or something? And he basically says, I brought this problem. I'm going to settle it so simple. I love it.
His name is Wilson Bethel. I think he stole it because
really?
Because okay, so here is my take. Is obviously I kind of had a feeling he was Bullseye. Like you already kind of knew what was going on. But that turn of he's sitting there with the doctor and he does a great job of like playing the stoic face, being the sociopath, the psychopath who's able to mimic the emotion.
It's not all there,
but you can't figure out why.
Because at first,
so he kills the 2 guards that are trying to kill Wilson, but then you realize, like, well, did he do that because they just killed a bunch of his men? Like, he lost his cool. And then you kind of start putting it together. And that scene when he says, I'm going to go have pizza with my girl. And you realize that he's stalking her.
Yeah.
And that turn of like, oh my goodness, wait a minute. Like, this is, like, we're off the rails already. And from that moment on, like, he was vicious when he's playing Daredevil. Hello, Karen. It's good to see you again. Like that just haunting moment of him stabbing people and literally killing people brutally with blunt objects, not just sharp objects to the neck,
like an actual pipe going through someone's
neck. It was brutal and I didn't even notice it throughout it, but the not having the Klan essentially having you around there and the Foot Clan around there.
He's that good where like he's enough to keep you occupied. Yeah. And the FBI, like you're going to get some more guns. And
he's like Agent Nadine. I mean, we said I
thought there was every side character had a purpose and was great. I love the backstory we get. You know how we got into Kingpin in season 1, like he's a boy because they're hammer.
Vanessa.
I love the black and white where Kingpin's reading the file.
Yes.
And I love the lawyer. I brought a book. Like he's just so used to all the shady shit. So he's reading the files, and in his mind, he's walking through Bullseye's childhood.
Oh my God, yes.
And I love, so Bullseye's just playing baseball, and he's like, and the coach tries to pull on. He's like, I'm going to give someone else some time. He's like, no, I can finish it. He's like, you can throw 1,000,000 perfect games. Like, we know you can do it. That isn't, and in his head, how crazy he is. So he throws a ball off a pipe, hits the coach in the head, and, you find out, like, his childhood, like, he's killing animals, he's beating up people. And I love that he doesn't really have a power.
No.
It's just he's that crazy.
He's
like
that good.
His aim is that good. Like he's just using. I love when he's in the dining hall using the knives and he's like.
He's so good.
I love the fights with Daredevil. This has a 24-minute prison tracking scene. I told you about it when it happened. I was like, I watched it twice because I was watching and I stopped and when he's out of the prison to smoke, I'm like, I'm like, no, wait, was that all one shot?
Yeah, no, it was.
And I went back and watched the exact one. I'm like, holy fuck, that was one shot.
So, friend of the show, Andy Lansky, and I always gush over these things because he went to Columbia, Chicago to be a director, and like we always talk about it, right? And everybody remembers the one shot from the first 2 seasons, and obviously what they were trying to do with Punisher, and they do a great job with prison hall scenes. They just love to do it, but they have a tell though. They have a tell when they're about to go one shot. And, like, you can already kind of tell when they're getting you set up for it. And it was one of those moments where you told me it was coming. You just didn't tell me what episode it was. And as we're getting there, I'm like, oh, this is it.
Like,
this is it.
These are some nice hallways.
Yeah, this is where we're going to get into.
I think this is it.
But this is what I love about this series. We're going to gush about it. We have a few more minutes that we can gush about this. I love how brutal the fights are in this universe.
So real, so exhausting.
Like, I like Luke Cage because I love Michael Coulter.
I think that's why.
Michael
Coulter.
Iron Fist is garbage. I don't like Finn Jones.
I think he's fine.
I don't like Finn Jones.
I think if they put a show together, they'd be fine.
But and we'll get into that news in just a little bit. But and Jessica Jones is fine, whatever. But Daredevil is the only one that it doesn't look fun to get into a fight. It doesn't look glamorous. It looks like it hurts. It looks like there's no redeeming.
He's so bruised. He's so tired.
Did you love? I fanboyed out. Vanessa. I fanboy out because the first season he puts rope on his hand, but this season he went straight up Frank Miller with the big.
Well, and I like the way they explain it because that's a martial art. I think jiu-jitsu or something. So every blow makes you bleed more. And I love the attention to detail where now when he starts using it, people like Fisk and Bullseye start bleeding more than when they normally would.
Yeah.
And he's open palming them and the way he wraps around his fingers, like it all makes sense. Like there's nothing done in this universe that you're like, that makes no sense.
I almost, and this is just me, I grew up just like you grew, we grew up with our Daredevil being bright red, swinging around, being an X Games guy.
That
and
was
in the
sick.
Spider-Man
Ben
games.
Affleck dope. Ben Affleck dope.
I'm to the point now, and I'm not. It's not even because it's dark. Everything I feel this character in this day and age, it's found its niche. Don't steer away from that black suit anymore. Stick to it. Stay to
I
it.
wouldn't mind if they went back to it because they already said he's like, I gotta get my suit back because he's got loved ones again. Like I think the whole journey is like, but that's why I came over season 4 because it's like, where do you fall in this world? Like you won. What's your purpose? What's your job now? Like, are you a hero?
He's a man without fear.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much. Like, that's what doesn't matter. Like, so I think that what worries me is that I told you, like, the ending's so good. I'm worried because it's such a good ending. They could totally end it right there.
Oh yeah,
and no one would be like, man, that's a good trilogy though. And like, it's a happy, nice ending. We're friends. We're family.
So why don't we get into it? That's our thoughts of Marvel and Netflix Daredevil season 3, a must-watch, arguably one of the best things that you can watch on Netflix, and easily one of the top 3 things in the Marvel Netflix universe. But there was a bunch of news that broke, a good brother, about Netflix canceling both Iron Fist, and then a week later,
I don't think it was a week. It was almost within this few days, like less than a week.
Luke Cage.
Very soon. Sooner than you would expect. And with Daredevil ending, I think that's all a sign that they're getting rid of the show.
But Punisher's filmed.
It's done, yeah. It's on the book.
So interesting. And really fast, before we move on, did they ever mention Punisher in season 3 of Daredevil? Because there's a lot of Karen Page.
I like they've kind of, you can tell they're straying away from any sort of post credits, any sort of.
Because they don't know what's going to happen.
They don't want to do it. I think at this point they're like, listen, they're not acknowledging. Who cares? We do get the Defenders, and we get a Frank Castle, like Frank, sort of thing, like. Nothing bad. We don't see anyone. Like, obviously, he explains, I want to do it on my own.
All right. So then moving forward, we're at this point now where we have these cancellations. So you and I first talked about it, and it's one of two things. I think this is the easy. Let's go to what the easiest solution might be, where it's either A, they're putting Heroes for Hire, or B, they're just getting ready for the move to the Disney stream. So my question to you, do you think it's A, B, or do you think it's something else?
I think it's both. I think it's C, all the above, because I think what they're going to do is, I think they're going to leave Daredevil and Punisher on Netflix. I think they still want to have, just because they have their own thing, they're like, we still want to leave a little bit over there.
Sure.
We got to give them something. And I think they're going to be like, let's take these 2 guys that, maybe we don't want to spend them on 2 shows, bring them over here so we have something. Put them together. Everyone wants. It's like Vince. Like, people like them together. Put them together.
Damn it! Put them together.
Damn it!
Damn it!
Why did you think about this? Heroes for hire.
Hogan must pose.
So I think that's what they're doing. I think they're doing both. I think they're preparing it to move over. But I think I'll be honest. That's my fantasy thing. I just don't think they know what they're doing. Because I think, look at the movie level with like the X-Men. Like, you're like, there's a big change coming. What are we doing? Like, are we going to keep these kids? Like, you're going to put out a movie that was made already and then are you going to reboot right away? If it does good, are you going to be like, well, let's just add them in? We can always do multiverses. And it's a very interesting time when it comes to like that genre, anything to do with Disney. Because of the Fox, even with Sony, like we talked about it with Spider-Man.
2 months.
So,
2 months, the deal goes through possibly.
It's going faster than anyone ever thought. And, you know, we talked about it forever. It's almost like when we figure out who's going to play Batman next or whatever, we're going to be like, oh, okay,
finally,
guys,
yeah, let's
Ben
go.
Affleck.
I will tell you this: it feels to me that a storm is brewing in Mr. Wayne. That a storm is coming, though. That there's a lot of news that's going to be breaking soon, and we're going to start hearing casting news of different things. We're going to start hearing of movement of different properties.
It's not just them; it's DC too.
And we'll see what's going on with the DC universe. I'm really excited to jump into the Titan series. I'm hearing good things about
Wonder Woman got pushed back to 2020,
and
which means Joker got pushed up.
So let's kind of end this thing with the Netflix Marvel thing. Let me just give my quick thoughts. I think it's going to definitely be a move to the Disney stream. Yeah. I agree with you. I think they definitely might keep their cookies in another jar.
Yeah.
But at the very least, I think they're going to do Heroes for Hire at the next streaming service. I think if they were smart, they'd take a little time and maybe gather their thoughts and decide what they want to do with this universe.
2020. I think by 2020, I'll give you a year. You can take the year. Give me Punisher in the beginning, and you can put Jessica Jones in for people, and I'm good.
And then moving...
Avengers will keep me busy.
Right, and then... What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
Another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones. Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
And all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
What should have been next year, after an Avengers movie, was going to be Wonder Woman, and now that's been pushed back into 2020, I think this was a smart move in this sense. We knew it was surrounded by a lot of competition, but more importantly, this smells to me like something's coming.
A Batman Superman decision, whether they're going to say, hey, because like there's basically three rumors to mine. One, they decided that we want to move. We think Wonder Woman will make more money here away from all, because that's like Star Wars is over. Yeah. Avengers 4, like basically the series finale, getting ready for the next series.
Yeah.
So that's a perfect time. And then they also said, hey, that's close to, awards snobby season. This Joker movie's pretty good. Let's move it up. And we're filming it, and people seem hyped about it. So that's one. Rumor 2 was they want to see how the next 2 movies play out and give themselves a good enough window to say, okay, Aquaman, let's say Aquaman's great and Sham's great. That gives them a bigger window when it comes to the extra universe. And I think that's the most realistic. I think they're like, listen, this makes sense. Let's see how these 2 movies play out. Give us 9 months, and then starting the year we do that. And rumor 3 was it's to do reshoots to add Batman and Superman. Now, whether that's a new Batman and Superman or Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill again, start filming, you do those things like maybe next year. But I think it buys you time. And I think, what's funny is the only thing that helps this situation is the hypeness for the Joker standalone movie.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
It keeps you going because if Aquaman's good and makes money and Shazam's just good, that buys you so much time.
And they've just lost, obviously, momentum with the Flash movie. So, like, it's tough times right now. And they just announced that they have casted a young Bruce Wayne and an Alfred for the Joker movie. So this thing is moving along very fast. I don't know. I think, personally, this is a move to get it out of competition's way. And I actually think this is definitely a move that has to do with one of the main two. I don't know who, but it has to do with the universe moving forward. I think they're going to keep everything going.
I agree. I think we're going to keep Ben Affleck for one more movie. I think we're going to keep Henry Cavill.
I think we lost Henry Cavill.
I think we're pushing it because I think 2020 we get the announcement of a Superman movie. I think The Witcher's going to come out. I think he's going to be in Wonder Woman. I think they both will. I think the trilogy comes back. I think we're going to get and that's going to set up the future. And then I think we're going to get Ben Affleck because he wants to do one more. You know, he's got to rehab kids. I get it. You know, give him some time. I think once The Witcher comes out and the hype is crazy and they're going to be like, listen, we messed up twice already with the hype train for Mission Impossible and this. Okay, now 2020, guys, we're filming Superman title in 2020. You're like, dang, I'm sold. You did all this bad stuff. I'm Dumb and Dumbering it. And you totally win me back because I would be hyped. I would cry if Henry Cavill. I just saw Man of Steel again the other day. And Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And Batman vs. Superman. I love all those movies except for Suicide Squad.
Very nice. Well, that's kind of what we have going on over there in the DC world. Alex, really fast before we head up out of here, we have some quick notes I wanted to get into that you and I were going back and forth really fast. Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out on Friday. You can watch and stream it at Super Mercado Bros on YouTube at Mercado Airwaves Network. Follow us on Twitter at Mike Mercado 2333. There you can see that as well. Just really fast, favorite Rockstar game?
I've only played the one that matters. It's Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Very nice. San Andreas is a great one.
But Vice City, surprisingly, is one of the first non-Mario games I beat.
Yeah, it's great.
So it's one of the very first games Jeff had in the basement. You guys were busy all day, so I played a lot. And he had a cheat guide, so I got to get through a lot of these levels as a young kid, and that was a good one. I think Vice City was the first time I beat, but San Andreas is just one of the top probably 5 video games of all time.
So excited to get it, to sink my teeth into
Rockstar
that one.
does no wrong. Jokes aside, Rockstar is one of the most solid companies.
And before we get into something Alex wanted to talk about, let's jump into WWE Evolution. It happens
Evolution is a mystery.
Lemmy is here. WWE Evolution, the all-women's pay-per-view. It just seems like everything WWE has a weird, aura to it, a weird feeling to it with the Saudi Arabia things, and now the Roman.
Mm-hmm. I do give them credit; they do great packages.
Yeah,
because I watched it last night after Raw, the 30-minute getting ready, and it made me feel hyped. I'm like, man, we did get a Women's Royal Rumble, and Renee's there. I'm like, yeah, we're progressive. Then you look back, you're like, well, kind of. They did kind of drop the ball on several of those things, and so they did kind of screw this and this up. But I'm like. But yeah, Royal Rumble. I like that.
I think the matches will deliver. They missed a lot of opportunities. I think injuries really derailed a lot of this card. Yeah. And obviously now with the atmosphere and the cloud that is, the awful Roman news, the stuff that's going on in Saudi Arabia. But nonetheless, I think all the women out there are going to absolutely destroy whatever they can, and it's going to be a good show.
I think the problem is, same as the men, that you're having problem making superstars.
Yeah.
Because on that card, there's
a few.
4 or 5 people that I'm really into, non-Hall of Famers included because they're Hall of Famers.
Right.
So what, Becky, Charlotte, the Bellas, and Ronda?
Yeah.
Everyone else, I'm I don't care about Sasha Bailey anymore. I love Natty. I don't care about Natty. And I don't care about the Battle Royal.
You should care about Sasha and Bailey. And
but they don't. But that's their fault that I don't care. I used to.
No, I agree.
You imagine this. If you would have told me this card years ago, I'd be like, oh, they're probably going to have some great match. Bailey versus Sasha is going to have a cage match or ladder.
A fatal 4-way between
It's going to be something crazy. And it just wasn't. You're like, oh, good for you, Becky and Charlotte on SmackDown. You're like, they're letting you run with stories. You have the best storyline.
Last woman standing match.
I can't wait. Great, and then I'm like, oh, 3-way tag again with the Riot Squad. I'm like, sorry, guys.
Well, I'm definitely going to watch it. Alex is a little busy.
I'll watch it. I'm going to watch it later.
Yeah.
When I get home from work.
You're helping the youths of the
I will be at Purdue.
Yes, very fun. So good luck to all the kids over there when you guys get down there. Again, some serious news.
Oh, wait, hold on. Before we get serious, no matter how bad the ratings get, I got to get my minute of Walking Dead.
Oh, please. Yes. By the way, I actually watched this one. I didn't watch the last ones. It was okay. Obviously, it's the quality that you expect. My biggest problem is there's no subtlety to the show anymore.
No, but I kind of appreciate that because it's better than them walking in the wilderness for hours.
Sure.
I like that things happen. People die. Like, things just kind of go. Rick has 2 more episodes left. He's gone.
I have no emotional stake to any of these characters anymore.
Yeah, but it's good garbage TV.
No, yeah, it's fun for Sunday.
I watch Jersey Shore. I can watch this.
But right now, football's on.
And I refuse to not give it the time of day.
Sure.
Mike, why does your fantasy team suck?
Because God hates me. Next question, Alex.
Our fantasy team is not doing well, guys.
So, Alex, I wanted to get into this. Oh, really fast. What did you think of this episode?
Walking Dead?
Yeah.
I think it's a great season. It's better than the last season we've gotten, but at this point, it's like The Simpsons. Like, no matter what you do, like, yeah, you're always going to be on. I appreciate that. You're always going to have pop culture. But there's nothing you're going to do that wins me back. Like, the people that are gone, I think, are gone.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's unrealistic to do anything just because it is AMC. After watching a fantastic series in Better Call Saul, you're like, if you're watching at this point, you like zombies, you're DVRing, you're fast forwarding a lot.
You know what you're getting.
But what sucks is like this is way better than a lot of stuff we got. Like
I get it.
Out of the other 8 seasons, this is like definitely top 4. So like it's in the better half.
But I think we'll at the very least you're going to get quality television when it comes to it. So
good acting.
Yeah, but let's get into the last thing I want to get into in this episode of The Good Brothers with Alex Mercado and Mike Mercado on the Mercado Airwaves Network. 22 July. So I don't know if you want to hit on this today. The Netflix movie that came out about the incident at the island with a bunch of children getting...
we can talk about the movie here because, spoiler alert, if you're listening this far, here's a little surprise for you. On Murder, Mysteries, and More, that is going to be the topic of our next week's episode.
All right, so that's a very good little sneak peek.
If you're listening this far, yeah, enjoy.
So why don't we go ahead then? We talked about it last week that we're going to do a breakdown of this movie. So since we teased it as a episode of a crossover to Murder, Mysteries, and More, why don't we do
let's do the strictly the movie.
Yeah. So right now,
as a Netflix movie, as a actors,
what did you think?
Production, I think it's one of Netflix's best movies ever.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay, well, hold on. We'll go one at a time then.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's going to get Oscar nomination like Mudbound. It's a bit long.
Yes.
I think it's shot beautifully. I think it's acted beautifully. I think it's tasteful. I think they do the best they can to be real. I think I told Mike, I was not, like, when they did the whole not Fahrenheit 9/451, the 9/11 movies, I thought they were very tasteless. They weren't handled with care. I thought this did a better job of that. I think as an Oscar movie, it hits where it needs to hit as a movie because technically it's a foreign film. Word is that with the year it's having, it might also get a regular Oscar nomination if they go 10. But it's definitely going to get a foreign nomination battering Roma. What sucks is probably going to lose to Roma because that movie has been claimed as one of the greatest movies of all time. So I can't say I enjoyed it because it's such a sad movie, but I thought it was a beautiful movie.
I think it's a great movie in the sense that it's well shot. It's a movie that hits at the heartstrings. Right now, it's at 80% on Rotten Tomatoes to 71% for the audience. I think it's a little bit of shock factor, but it's not gruesome. Like they don't make it. It's not sexualized in the sense that like
there's no
he's
blood,
getting off on
there's
it.
There's no like gruesome like stabbing, just stab. Like it's just a guy. A monster.
I think the killer is played very much like a movie villain, and I don't know if he was like that in real life, but
the research I've done is that's him. That's he. In his mind, he was more important than he was.
Sure.
Because he had sold on this big terrorist organization. And he was just a guy that read it on the internet.
Now, I will also say this. Maybe it's just the weirdness or maybe the horribleness that is being an American cinema watcher. But the movie takes such a quote-unquote high when it's in that the suspense and everything that happens to it and the crash that is after that.
I'm with
it's
you.
So hard.
It's another movie you could have cut 30 minutes out. And this isn't like Halloween where I realistically cut 10 minutes, honestly. This is a 2 hour and 20-minute movie. It probably should have only been 2 hours.
And you lose a lot of the steam of it because the initial, and this is where I say I wonder if it's for the shock factor because you're feeling for the parents and you feel the anxiety and you're trying to put all these things together and you're seeing oh my God, I can imagine sitting there and having this dude plotting and just hoping please take a right and not a left.
No, you're right. You said it perfectly right. It's such a high of just intensity, great movie, great writing, respect. It's just, you're this is fantastic cinema.
Yeah.
12 Years a Slave almost. But the difference is that one, as it maintained, this one, like you said, it does teeter off to the middle. And then it gets really good the last 20 minutes of court scenes with the kids. You can testify against them. But there is a very big lull for 30 minutes.
It's a hard time.
And I do like the kid rehabbing scenes. I think there was a little bit too much of
Yeah.
I like because I felt like it was just too much to cram in there. You could do a whole separate hour and a half movie of just that kid. Honestly,
I was gonna say it's two movies.
You kind
of
try cramming.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It is two movies.
So this is why when people are saying it's an Oscar winner, I'm like, is it an Oscar winner if?
Oh, it's getting nominated just because it's a foreign film.
But let me put it to you this way though: exactly right, a foreign film. But let's just say if the movie was just one thing or the other. Would it be and I think it goes for all the typical tropes to try to be that type of movie.
I'll be honest, Mike, we're gonna talk about this a lot the next few months. It's gonna be a weird year for Oscars. Because a lot of movies that we thought were gonna be average are turning out to be cinematic classics.
Interesting.
A lot of movies we thought were gonna be cinematic classics are average. Look at that. They were talking about First Man might not get a nom anymore because it's not doing well.
Yeah.
And it's not getting good reviews. And it's not. They're when a movie like that comes out and the best thing you can say is it's shot well, that's not enough. Cool, you're gonna get a visual effect award, guys, maybe. And then you have movies like mid-90s, who's a movie that's nothing.
Shout out to
Jonah
Hill.
Might get a nod. Mid-90s.
We'll see.
You have A Star Is Born that isn't making too much money now. Is that what we want? We still got Black Panther back there. We got a few other movies coming out. It's gonna be fascinating for the Oscars. I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a groundbreaking year, and whether it's negative or positive, it's going to be a big change in dynamics this year in the Oscars.
And we'll have it completely on taps because if you've been following us from the beginning of the show, we actually crushed our Oscar predictions last year, so we plan on doing the same this year.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
It's another day at the operator to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones. Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
And all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support. Good brother, this was a beefy episode of the Good Brothers. Any last thing you want to hit on?
No, I mean it was I didn't get a lot of sleep. I had to watch a lot of things. I promised the scary show I will watch, guys. I can't get past 10 minutes. So go scare me.
I have a
Go
few more.
scare me.
I
Mike might have to do that one, guys.
I'm gonna watch a bunch of scary
Yeah.
things. But on that note, guys, please have a awesome, safe, amazing Halloween. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Eat a bunch of candy, watch a bunch of scary movies, and enjoy it for the good brother himself.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
That's a Christmas.
Halloween.
That's
Halloween.
a Christmas movie, sir.
Nightmare Before Christmas. It happens before Christmas.
Follow us everywhere in the universe. He's on Twitter at Mercado21 Alex. I'm at mmercado2333. You can follow Nicole at Typing When Tipsy. We're all on Instagram. She's at Typing When Tipsy. He's at Mercado2121. I'm at Mike Mercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/Mercado Airwaves Network, where we will be streaming Red Dead Redemption 2. Download us anywhere you get your favorite podcast at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're at it, like, rate, review, and share us. It really helps us out. Download us. All on our interviews with athletes and celebrities, ad-free and before anybody else at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. And a huge thank you to Munch Art Design for powering us here at the Mercado Airwaves Network. For the good brother Alex Mercado,
You got to listen now. Do it. Do it to the chopper.
I'm Mike Mercado. We'll see you in the next episode of The Good Brothers on the Mercado Airwaves Network.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333. Thanks for joining us here on The Good Brothers, here on Mercado Airwaves. If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333. If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333. If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
It's another day at the operator to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing,
Hey,
buddy?
sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.